Okay. So fundamentally, every close that you accomplish, or every close that is accomplished by an agent with a lead, essentially requires that the lead be locked into their hero state for their decision making, and then provided with the resources, the rules, and the tools to be able to accomplish their goal. In this particular case, with you as the agent, it would be to get coverage, right? So fundamentally, your lead needs to be anchored in the hero state for decision making. Okay? And that involves being good, responsible, brave, and powerful with respect to the decision making process that they're using during this phone call, during this conversation. With those attributes and being the hero that they are, they'll be able to achieve the goal, which is coverage for themselves, their loved ones, and really peace of mind. Okay? In order to make sure that the lead is anchored in their hero state, there needs to be someone who is focused, who's experienced, and who provides those resources in order to accomplish the goal that is attaining the coverage and the peace of mind for our lead anchored hero, right? And the most important role would be anchoring and then reminding that lead that they are the hero, which involves being good, responsible, brave, and powerful in their decision making so that they can reach their goal and get X coverage and attain peace of mind. The person who does that is the guide. And the guide is you, right? The agent anchors themselves in the role of the guide so that they can be focused, experienced, and provide the resources and remind the lead that they are the hero who displays good, responsible, brave, and powerful traits in terms of decision making so that they can reach their goal of coverage and self-actualization, peace of mind, basically, which is what heroes actually are trying to achieve, which is what your lead is trying to achieve, which is why they're on the call speaking to you about getting coverage. How do we do that, right? How do we functionally anchor the lead in their hero state and then guide them throughout the rest of the way, providing the rules and the tools to reach the goal? We mirror the foundation or the scaffolding that is the hero's journey. Because in the hero's journey, a hero is struck by divine inclination, right, to reach a goal. In order to reach a goal, our hero has to embark on a journey. On that journey, they come across a guide. The guide provides the resources, the rules, and the tools to be able to successfully attain the goal. Okay? That's the hero's journey. Does that make sense? And it's also why it's important to make sure that our lead is anchored in their hero's decision-making mind state for the journey so that they make the correct decisions and actually attain their goal and are not distracted by lapses in judgment, fear, discomfort, things that aren't the goal. The goal is the goal, right? Not being fearful of your budget or your ability to afford the goal. That's not the goal. The goal is getting the coverage, and really, truly, the higher goal is getting the peace of mind that you attain from having gotten the coverage and taking care of that problem. Okay? So inside of the hero's journey, we break it down into a series of steps, it's not steps necessarily, they're not even checkpoints, right? They're milestones, I would say, because it's interchangeable, there's no particular order, but you need to get through each of these components inside of what we call the sales framework so that you can properly introduce yourself as the guide in the call. You can gather information. If it's an RSH lead, then you definitely have preliminary information that you are verifying and qualifying and making sure you can actually help this lead before we even deal with making sure they're in the correct mind state in order to go through the journey, right? From the information you gather, you then get to identify the pain point, the actual issue that is at the cause of why we're on this call searching for coverage, right? So, are we considering retirement? Is there maybe a new addition to the family? Maybe there's a recent death. Maybe something's gotten our lead to more vigorously, more fiercely consider the fact that they don't have coverage, proper coverage for whatever asset they're trying to protect, for whatever beneficiaries they're trying to protect. You find that information out so you can identify the pain point, and then you can package and frame the solution, which is coverage and the coverage details and why it will help our hero. You frame the solution to speak to the pain points that we identify in the information gathering stage, okay? And then from there, we go over the cost benefit analysis. And here is a very important component of the sales framework and the hero's journey and the sale in itself, because here is generally where it's most vital to remind the lead that they are the hero who displays good, responsible, brave, and powerful traits in order to reach the goal, which is getting coverage for themselves and their loved ones, and really truly giving themselves peace of mind for having solved this problem that's still lingering for them. And that needs to be solved, by the way. Like, it actually needs to be solved. So when we go through the cost benefit analysis, often the frame or the structure of the analysis itself is the costs to acquire the coverage versus the benefits of the coverage, right? But really, to increase the probability of getting a desirable outcome, right? Of getting a sale, getting a close, of reaching a decision to buy, really what you want the frame to be would be the cost of not getting the coverage and the pain point. So really the cost of the pain point versus the benefits of the coverage. Slight but significant difference in that when we're looking at the cost of the pain point, which is essentially lack of peace, right? Lack of peace of mind. The cost to attain that peace of mind is essentially priceless. Your peace of mind is priceless, right? And so, short of pricelessness, just getting coverage in order to attain that peace of mind makes it an easier decision to buy, okay? So that's the structure that we go through and the process that we go through inside of the sales framework, which is mirrored after the hero's journey, where a hero comes across a guide who provides the rules and the tools for them to attain their goal, right? Now, structurally, how do we elicit two very important points that help us first anchor our lead in the hero mind state, and then not get them to realize, but get us both to, or get us all, whoever's on the call, or whoever's involved, get us all to acknowledge that peace of mind is the most desirable outcome, which will be attained through the purchase of the coverage, okay? So the first thing, and the first step, I should say, in the process of making sure that our lead is anchored in their hero mind state is to ask a general context question of what's going on, right? You want to basically let the lead speak and give you context for the situation that they're in, what they're thinking, what state they're in, and why they think they need coverage, who they need coverage for, and importantly, just implicitly, when a person is looking for coverage, they're looking to cover against the unforeseen circumstances, cover for their assets, sometimes liabilities, depends on the situation, and cover for their beneficiaries. Now, implicitly, if you have assets and beneficiaries, you've done things in the foreseen in life already that are good, responsible, brave, and powerful. So all we're doing here is trying to glean them out. Well, gleaning them out, not trying to. We're gleaning them out by asking, and then we listen, repeat, and commend any aspect of the current situation that they're in the foreseen, that displays good, responsible, brave, and powerful traits, which there will be, because you cannot have attained anything in life without having displayed these characteristics. Okay? From there, once we have those characteristics on the table and we listen for them, we repeat them so that we all hear them, and we commend them so that we agree on them, this is how we anchor our lead in their hero mind state. This is a mind state they need to continue on throughout the rest of the sales framework, so that we increase our chances and increase the probability of reaching the most desirable outcome, which is purchase of coverage and peace of mind, right? The next question, context question that we're asking is, what goal do we achieve with this coverage? Okay? Now, this question is important because this question moves the goal past just the coverage. We have the coverage. We on this journey, we have the coverage. Let's say we have the coverage already. Now, what state are we in? What's going on with us? What have we accomplished, right? And essentially, you're going to get, if somebody is trying to structure for their next phase in life, or they're worried about their assets and worried about, the unforeseen, or what could happen, what could possibly happen for their beneficiaries, right? When they get that sewed up, when they purchase the coverage, then they feel at ease about at least that particular situation. They feel peace of mind. Okay? So the goal we achieve with coverage is the actual peace of mind, which is the higher goal, actually. This is what we're actually after as heroes. It's just that the rules and the tools provided to us in this particular context, in this particular situation, this hero's journey, that the goal is, getting coverage for a lead anchored hero, right? In this particular situation, peace is what we're trying to achieve for our hero. Okay? The best way to achieve peace is through the resources provided by the guide, which is coverage. And the particular coverage that speaks to the pain points that we find out during our information gathering stage, after we properly introduce ourselves and establish that we are in fact the guide who is focused, who's experienced, who provides the rules and the tools for success, and who, when necessary, reminds the lead to be anchored in their hero's decision-making states, which role consists of being good, responsible, brave, and powerful, so that they can actually attain their goal of coverage for themselves and their loved ones, but truly the peace of mind that follows that. Okay. And basically, what we're trying to do here inside of this framework, right? The whole point of this, which again is interchangeable. So if there's a particular issue with one of the steps, you can always go back up and down all through this. It's not set in stone, and it's very flexible. That being said though, the whole point of this is to make it so that not buying is an unreasonable move to make for our hero. Because once we do that, then buying is the only reasonable move to make. And that's actually how we attract more sales. Okay? And what do we do? RSH Leads, what do? We create AI ads, and then we use AI again. We use AI everywhere we can. Every company should. And leverage it properly so that you actually boost the productivity and the profit, the money that each individual you work with makes, right? But anyway, aside from that, AI advertising, video, stock, whatever, we do all of it. We also do automated calling and text messaging, and then of course booking, transfers, etc. We use technology, the available technology, to attract the lead to you, so that you can make sure the lead is anchored in their hero states, that they're making good, responsible, brave, and powerful decisions, so that they can attain the coverage they're looking for and really attain the peace they're looking for You do this as an agent by assuming the role of the guide, being focused, being experienced, and providing the rules and the tools, and most importantly, reminding our lead that they are in fact the hero who is able to accomplish those things. And they're able to do so. We're able to do so as the guides by going through the set framework for the sale and making sure that we have proper context for why we agree that our lead is the hero in this journey, and proper understanding, proper visualization of what it looks like once the goal is achieved. Essentially a peaceful hero, essentially, right? That sets the table, sets the stage for then being able to now, like all of this really is just the top three or first couple of stages inside of the framework. It has actually nothing to do with the actual particular coverage, right? This is X coverage, just any kind of coverage. All of this is just setting the proper context, proper framing, proper structure, so that we can then be open to listening to the solution and how the solution solves our problem, so that we can actually solve our problem and go from, internal lack of peace of mind to peace of mind, so that once we assess the benefits and the costs of the coverage, it's easy to buy. And that's how we make more money, attract more sales, and most importantly, how you, the agent, makes more money and attracts more sales. Okay.